is the speed variation of the engine caused by the fluctuations of engine turning moment are controlled by flywheel. For same lift of sleeve, range of speed of Proel governor as compared to Porter governor is dash more. అంటే Proel governor is more than Porter governor. In Hartnell governor, if the stiffness of spring is increased, governor will become more sensitive. The governor used in gramophone is of the following: Pickering. Gramophone means the Pickering. For a governor running at constant speed, the force acting on the sleeve is 0. Hartnell governor could be classified under the head of centrifugal type governor. A Porter governor could be classified as deadweight type governor. A Watt governor could be classified as pendulum type governor. The quality of governor can be judged by its. This is the quality, quantity. Two governors are there, but here is the not given in the quality of the governor, so none of the above. Sensitivities of governor is defined as range of speed by mean speed. Which of the following is spring controlled governor? This is the spring controlled means Hartnell governor, Harting governor, Pickering governor, Wilson Hartnell governors, all of the above. The function of governor is to adjust variation of speed by varying the input the engine. The height of Watt governor is proportional to. The height of Watt governor is proportional to 1 by n square. The centrifugal type of governor is preferred to the inertia type governor because latter results in difficulties of balancing inertia force. If the controlling force of governor increases with increases in speed, the governor is said to be insensitive. If the controlling force of spring controlled governor decreases with increases in radius of rotation, then governor is said to be unstable. Practically, the sensitive of Watt and Porter governor are same. The term effort of governor is refers to force acting on sleeve for given percentage change of speed. Next 1 by n square, and again sensitive of governor is the speed range suitable for Watt governor is 60 to 80 rpm. For spring controlled governors, the controlling force curve would be straight line. If the controlling force line of spring controlled governor when produced intersect the y-axis at the origin, then governor is said to be isochronous. And for isochronous spring controlled governor, the controlling force with increases in radius of rotation remains constant. If pi be the angle of friction for a square threaded screw, then maximum efficiency of screw jack will be 1 minus sin pi by 1 plus sin pi. In above problem, maximum efficiency of screw jack for square threads will occur when the angle of threads is equal to pi by 4 minus pi by 2. The maximum efficiency of screw jack having square thread and friction angle of 30 degrees will be 33%. For machine to be self-sustaining, alpha less than pi. Which of the following clutches is positive type? Ja. Which of the following is not flexible coupling? Muff. The moment of friction with assumption of uniform pressure compared to uniform wear is greater. Length of cross belt in addition to center length depends only on the sum of the radii of pulley. The coefficient of friction between pulley and belt reduced by 50% if inertial is none of the A shooting. Length of open belt in addition to center length depends. Length of open belt in addition to the center length depends on the sum and difference of the radii of the pulley. Abbreviation PIV drive stands for positive infinitely variable drive. The centrifugal tension in belts reduces power transmission. The belting can transmit maximum power when maximum total tension in belt is equal to thrice the centrifugal tension. Pitching of ship produces force on a bearing. Pitching of producing a pitching of ship produces of the bearing which act along the axis of the bearings. And in case of gyroscopic effect, the plane of spin, gyroscopic couple and precession are mutually perpendicular. It is possible to obtain unity velocity ratio at very instant in double Hooke's joint if A and C is the axis of driving and driven shaft are in the same plane, and C intermediate shaft makes equal angle with driving and driven shaft. The contact surface in a single plate clutch are usually lined with leather, cork, etc. in order to increase power transmitted. The maximum permissible velocity of the belt in given Tz by root of Tz by 3W. The power transmitted by belt is maximum when the maximum tension in the belt compared to centrifugal tension is 3 times. Initial tension in belt when stationary is T1 plus T2 by 2. Can simple brake be made self-energizing type? It may not be economical. Which of false statement about flywheel? It takes care of output fluctuations and control input accordingly. This is the false statements in this given. And which of false statement above governor? It has no influence on mean speed of the prime mover. The frictional torque transmitted in conical or flat pivot bearing assuming uniform pressure in comparison to assumption of uniform wear is dash. It is the more. T1 and T2 be the tension in case of tight and slack sides belt and V its velocity in meter per second, then HP transmitted is equal to T1 minus T2 into V by 75. The ratio of number of teeth and pitch circle diameter is called diametral pitch. Which of the following does not change with the conditions of the matting gears? Base circle. The circle passing through the bottom of the teeth of gear is known as dedundum circle. Pitch circle diameter of an involute gear is dependent of pressure angle. Intermediate gears are used for any of the above. In the involute gear, the normal to the involute A tangent to the pitch base circle. Gears are considered to be medium velocity type. Their preferred velocity lies in the range of 3 to 15 meters per second. The surface of the gear tooth below the pitch surface is called flank, which is correct one. Inversion pi tan pi minus pi. The transverse section of a helical gear is identically spur gear according to law of gearing. None of this above. In the above equation, aboves are there, then none of the above. Bevel gears are used to transmit a rotary motion between two shafts whose axes are none of this above. Which is correct statement is about gears? Addendum is bigger than the dedendum. Addendum is bigger than the dedendum. If D and T be the pitch circle diameter and out of teeth gear the circular pitch be pi of D by 2. If pi friction angle and alpha shaft angle maximum efficiency spiral gears is cos of alpha plus pi plus 1 cos of alpha minus pi plus 1. Law of gearing is satisfied if common normal at the point contact passes through pitch point on the line joining the center of rotation. D1 and T1 diameter and number of teeth gear D2 and D2 the corresponding value of other gear is mesh, then speed ratio N1 by N2 will be equal to D2 by D1. The path of contact in involute gear is a straight line. Path of contact in involute gear is straight line. The distance measured parallel to the axis to represent the distance advanced each tooth revolution is known as lead. The pressure angle for involute gear is always constant. The center distance between two meshing involute gears, sum of base circle radii by cos of pressure angle pi. Contact ratio for gear is the ratio length of arc contact and the dash cos of pressure angle pi. Dedendum circle diameter is the product of cos pi pitch circle diameter. For cycloid tooth profile, pressure angle at max first is the commencement of engagement, pitch point and the engagement. This is the maximum 0 and maximum. Max 0 maximum. Commencement of engagement is the max, pitch point is the 0 and end of the engagement will be max. Okay. Which false statement about the properties invalid profile? In this case is the false statement is the B, the angular, first one is the B, okay, and this 272. The gear train in which the first and last gear on the same axis is known as a riveted gear train. And involute teeth normal to the involute tangent, this is the base circle. The minimum number of teeth on gear with 14.5 pressure angle will be 32. Meter gears are used for equal speed. The difference between dedendum and addendum is known as clearance. Larger pressure angle results in wider base and stronger teeth. The contact ratio or engagement factor in case of gear should be 1.3 to 1.5. Which of the following is not the gear for non-parallel, non-intersecting shaft bevel? The product of circular pitch and diametral pitch is equal to pi. Which of false statement above cycloidal gears? This is the A1, A option. Bevel gears have their teeth cut on the surfaces of the first of cones. Helical gears have their teeth inclined to wheel rim. Which of the false statement is the involute gear? I don't know in this case. Just wait. Helical gears have their teeth inclined to wheel rim. Which false statement above involute gear? Option A. The center distance between involute gear is function of base circle radii of the meshing gears and the pressure angle. The best profile to obtain resistance against wear is 14 degrees, 14.5 full depth involute. For a given given total arc of action, the work wasted, the friction will be least when arc of approach is equal to arc of rexus. The maximum efficiency in case of worm and worm wheel is 1 minus sin pi by 1 plus sin pi. The maximum efficiency of spiral gears with the sharp angle pi and pressure angle pi is the equal to 1 plus cos of alpha plus pi by 1 plus cos of alpha minus pi. And the force transmitted between meshing of gears, pitch circle V Vmi to then HP transmitted will be Fe by 4500. The interface or undercutting involute gear can be avoided by option D. The Frank the Frank locomotive with two cylinders in order to facilitate starting of locomotive in any positions are invariably placed at 90 degrees to each other. Secondary force in reciprocating mass and engine frame are twice the frequency of a primary force. In reciprocating engine, primary forces are partially balanced. In locomotive, the ratio of length of connecting rod to crank radius is kept very large in order to minimize the effect of secondary force. Partial balancing in a locomotive results in hammer blow, variation of tractive effort, swaying couple. A disc oscillates freely at the end of shaft, other end of which is fixed. With increases in shaft stiffness, the natural frequency of vibration will increases. Pick up the wrong statement. Viscous force caused due plate slide over parallel plate is proportional to lubricant thickness. In hydrostatic, bearing pressure to lubricant supplied by external source. Swaying couple results due to primary disturbing force. The effect of swaying couple is restricted by the side pressure between the flange of the type of the wheel and the inside of the rail. Purpose of using differential gears automobile is dash. Help in turning. Help in turning. In order to balance the reciprocating masses. Option D. Partial balancing means partially balance the reciprocating masses. Gearbox of a car utilizes compound train. If more stiffness spring is used in hot-tail governor, less sensitive. A spring controlled governor will be stable if the straight control line force curve when produced will intersect y-axis below x-axis. The motion of pendulum is SHM only when its amplitude is dash small. The periodic time of a simple pendulum depends on dash length of pendulum. The period of simple pendulum can be doubled by increasing the length 4 times. The acceleration in SHM is proportional to dash displacement. Frequency of oscillation of a compound pendulum having same distance between point of suspension and CG of mass as simple pendulum will be dash less. The period of oscillation in case of SHM in terms of angular velocity omega is equal to 2 pi by 2 omega by pi. The maximum efficiency of worm and gear wheel is there, independent of weather and worm gear wheel is the driver. The natural frequency for the beam shown in the given below figure will be 1 by 2 pi root of 248 EAZ by FL cube. The natural frequency for beam shown in the figure 1 by 2 pi root of 3 EZ by FL cube. The motion of particle from one extremely together executive following number of oscillation, half oscillation. Motion of from one extremely is the half oscillation, two extremely is the one oscillation. The critical speed depends on mass and stiffness. The factor of which affects critical speed shaft off. This is the D option. The primary disturbing force due to inertia and reciprocating parts in engine is equal to omega W by Z omega square or cos theta. The maximum magnitude the balanced from a line perpendicular to the line of stroke is known as hammer blow. The secondary disturbing force due to inertia reciprocating parts in an engine is equal to W by Z omega square or cos 2 theta by N. In locomotive, the effect of secondary force is proportional to Weight of reciprocating parts transferred to rotational mass at a radius of r square by 4l. The acceleration of the piston of reciprocating engine is equal to omega square r cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. The time period of simple pendulum when oscillating in water in compression when the oscillating is air will be more. The time for complete oscillation for a simple pendulum when the amplitude is increased by remains same. The primary direct crank of a reciprocating engine is located at theta degrees anti-clockwise. Then secondary direct crank will be located 2 theta clockwise. In balancing of reciprocating cylinder, the resultant unbalanced force will be minimum when of the reciprocating masses are balancing rotating masses half. Usually following fraction of reciprocating masses is balanced in case of reciprocating engines 2/3. In order to facilitate the starting locomotive in any position, the crank of locomotive when two cylinders are placed at the following angle to each other 90 degrees. Locomotive two cylinders is the 90 degrees. Hammer blow occur when the center of gravity of a balancing weight is directly above or below the wheel center. Partially balancing locomotive results in dash all of the above. Primary forces are usually balanced partially 2/3. The principle of direct and reverse crank is readily applicable to partial primary balances. The effect of hammer blow can be reduced by all of the above. The value of swaying couple is maximum or minimum when the crank is inclined at following angle with the line of stroke 225 degrees and 45 degrees. The velocity of piston of a reciprocating engine is equal to omega r sin theta plus sin 2 theta by n. In balancing of coupled locomotive, one has to consider following balance all of the above. If damping factor in vibration system is unity, then system will be dash critical damped. The secondary critical speed of a shaft occurs at twice the speed of primary critical speed. The shaft of steam turbine is usually rotated at it is the much above the natural frequency of vibrations. For 20 degrees pressure angle, minimum number of teeth of gear will be 17. A maximum flotation of energy of a flywheel is proportional is the sum of maximum and minimum speed of flywheel. In the case of coupled wheels locomotives, the magnitude of hammer blow is dash reduced. Coefficient of fluctuation of energy is the ratio of the maximum fluctuation of energy of the work done per cycle. The fluctuation of energy in a turning moment diagram is the variation of energy above and below the mean resisting torque. The following valve is used to vary the cutoff wheel engine is in motion without reversing facility. A Mayer expansion value. The valve gear which does not call for central known as joy valve gear. Governor sensitivity is the ratio of range of speed mean speed. The weight of Porter governor is dash inversely proportional to omega square. The height of simple watt governor proportional to speed n. The height of simple watt governor is proportional to speed n. The governor balls have one particular fixed radius for each given speed of the equilibrium position, such as governor is said to be stable. The effort of Porter governor is proportional to percentage increases the speed. The power of Porter governor is inversely proportional to s square. Choose the correct statement. Option A. For the same diameter, radius of gyration of a type flywheel as compared to rim type flywheel is the 357 is the root 2 times. The stress in discus type flywheel as compared to type of flywheel is greater. The flywheel controls the following motion delta n by d theta. The variation of tractive force caused by unbalanced primary force in locomotives which Increase in the fraction of the reciprocating mass to be balanced will be decreases. The function of balancing of a prime mover is to dash eliminate partially or completely the effects due to the resultant force and couple. The primary unbalanced force in a reciprocating mass is directly proportional to the crank radius. It is the safer to have the maximum unbalanced force perpendicular to the line of stroke. For complete balancing of the reciprocating parts of the following polygon must close. Option E. Most of the engines generally do not require balancing of secondary forces and couples. The gearbox is automobile placed between the engine and clutch. The cylinders in aero engines are arranged along. Aero engines arranged along is the, I think any of one of the anukunta maybe. A simple row 6-cylinder radial engine has following number of cranks. 1. The usefulness of critical damping is that it enables measurement of damping. The amplitude of free successive oscillation with Colombo damping will follow the following type of progression. Arithmetic. With viscous damping, the frequency of damped oscillations as compared to frequency of undamped vibrations is less. The number of degrees of freedom in a continuous system would be dash 1. The frequency of vibration with increases of damping in the case of free vibration with Colombo damping will be remain same. The maximum displacement amplitude the type of gear used for speed reduction 50:1 will be worm wheel. Natural period of vibration in terms of mass of the system m and stiffness of the string k is given by equal to 2 pi root of m by k. And again, frequency of free torsional oscillation system in torsional stiffness shaft q mass mi, the disc attached at the end of shaft I is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of q by L. The type of teeth provided on a gear used in a sugar crushing machinery is cycloidal. If two gears have moment of inertia as I1 and I2 respectively and mesh with a speed of ratio W2 by W1n, the equivalent moment of inertia of both gears referred to first one is I1 plus n square I2. The equation of motion of a ball a radius rolling without slipping of cylindrical surface of radius r is d squared theta by dt square plus 2g by 3 of r minus r equal to 0. Then its natural frequency of oscillation about lowest point is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of 2g by 3 of r minus r. Radius of friction circle at any rotating surface is r cos phi. This one is the figure having several cylindrical rollers and weight W. Crushing force due to each roller will be more than W. And again, the rotor of a turbine ship rotates clockwise when looking from the stream. If the ship traveling at certain velocity steers to the left, the how will dash rise. This one also remains in the same position. The rotor turbine ship rotates clockwise looking from the stern. If the ship when traveling starts rolling at W radians per second clockwise, when looking from the stern, the bow will remain in same position. A motor car takes a bend of certain radius right hand direction when moving at some speed. If engine rotates in clockwise direction when reviewed from front, then due to centrifugal direction on outside wheels increased and inside wheels decreased. The delta B, the static deflection of a shaft under gravity load, the natural frequency of the system in case of the longitudinal and transverse vibration is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of g by delta. Under the condition of resonance for a vibrating body, the displacement would lag behind the disturbing force. Space angle would be dash 90 degrees. For vibrating system, if the damping factor is the unity, maximum magnification factor will occur, so W by Wn value of 0. A vibrating beam has following degrees of freedom is the 2. A vibrating system is a value W by W increases above unity. The magnification factor, the respective value of damping factor, has a tendency to move towards near zero value. An overdamping system which when distributed from equilibrium position when the initial velocity will be not cross the equilibrium position. The three rotor system has following number of natural frequencies 2. The equation d square x by dt square plus k by m x equal to 0 represent free vibrations. The equation of m d square x by dt square plus c dx by dt plus kx equal to 0 represents as free vibration with viscous damping. The equation of d square x by dt square plus c dx by dt plus kx equal to f sin omega t represents forced vibrations. In vibration isolation system, transmissibility, that is the ratio of force transmitted to the disturbing force, will be less than unity for all values of damping factors if W by Wn is dash above root 2. In SHM, the product of periodic time and frequency is equal to 2 pi. Critical damping is a function of mass and stiffness. In case of longitudinal vibrations, effects of inertia of shaft can be considered by adding following fraction of weight of shaft free end: 1/3. The node of shaft to vibrations are dash 0. A shaft carrying two rotors at end will have following number of nodes is the 1. A shaft carrying rotors will have following number of nodes. A shaft carrying three rotors, this is the 2. A mass m oscillation swing mass m is the stiffness k, natural frequency of mass is equal to kg by m plus I think. And again the natural frequency of a spring mass system when the mass spring is also considered as compared to the system with negligible mass of spring will be dash less than. In vibration isolation system, if omega by Wn greater than 1, then the phase difference between the transmitted force and the disturbing force is the 180 degrees. W by W1 greater than 1 is the 180 degrees. The underdamped vibrating system, the amplitude vibration with reference on to time decreases exponentially. In a critically damped vibrating system with a single degree of freedom with damping coefficient by mass into spring constant should be equal to 1. The rate of decay of association is known as logarithmic decrement. In forced vibration, the magnitude of damping force at a resonance equals to impressed force. In steady-state forced vibrations, the amplitude of vibrations at a resonance is inversely proportional to the damping coefficient. The ratio of maximum displacement of the forced vibration to the deflection due to the static force is called magnification factor. The ratio of the actual damping coefficient to the critical damping coefficient is called damping factor. The damping force is the forced vibration varying in different spots lags by pi by 2 radian. For steady state forced vibration, phase lag is the resonance conditions is 90 degrees. Three frequencies of damped oscillation in the dry friction damping as compared to undamped vibration is equal. For a vibrating body under steady state force vibration of ratio WW is very high, then phase would be tends to approach 180 degrees. The transmissibility is vibration isolation system for all values of damping factor of angular speed of system by material frequency of vibration system W by Wn greater than 1.414 is dash less than unity. If vibration isolation system, if W by Wn less than 1.4, then the transmissibility for all values of damping factor is more than unity. In vibration isolation system, transmissibility is the unity for all damping factor W by W1 is equal to root 2 is equal to root 2. In case of transverse vibration, the effect of inertia of the shaft can be considered by adding following fraction of mass of the shaft to the shaft disc or flywheel is the 33 by 140. The damping factor for a vibrating system is unity, then the system is critically damped. In damped vibration system, the damping force is proportional to velocity. For vibrating body under steady state forced vibration, if ratio W by W is very high, very low, the phase angle would tend to approach 0 degrees. Which are the following coefficient of more dangerous of ship pitching? A stapled shaft diameter D1, D2, D3, L1, L2 respectively reduced torsional equivalent shaft uniform diameter length equivalent shaft is equal to L1 plus L2 D1 by D2 power 4 plus L3 D1 by D3 power 4. Governor automobile differential dynamic observation. The governor is the two feedback control, governor feedback control, and automobile differential is the epicyclic train, and dynamic observer is the two mass oscillators, and engine indicator is the pantograph device. Correlates component of acceleration depends on velocity of slider and angular velocity of the link. Inertia force m d square y by dt square, swing force ky, damping force c dy by dt, and centrifugal force m omega square r. In gears, interface takes place when the tip of tooth of mating gear digs into 5 proportion between base and root circles. Quadratic cycle chain is the Ackermann steering. Single-sided crank chain is the pendulum pump. Double-sided crank chain is the elliptical trammel, and cross-sided crank chain is the Repson slide. Flywheel fitted the crankshaft and engine having E amount of indicator work per revolution and permissible limits coefficient of fluctuation energy speed Ke, Ks respectively. Kinetic energy the flywheel is given by Ke by 2 Ks. Ke 2 Ks. Hartnell governor has its controlling force F given by F is equal to P plus QR or radius of the balls and PQR constants. P is equal to 0 and Q is positive. A plots of controlling force versus radii of rotation of balls, springs, controlled governor as shown in the given figure. A stable governor is characterized by the curve below. The fourth one is the which of the following can completely balance several masses revolving in different planes on a shaft? Two masses in any two planes. With the symbols having the usual meanings, the single degree of freedom system, forced vibration with damping. Two rotor system shown in the given figure, I1 less than I2, node of vibration is situated between I1 and I2 nearer to the I2. Simple spring mass vibrating system has natural frequency of n. If the spring stiffness is halved and the mass is doubled, then the natural frequency will become n by 2. The involute gears, the pressure angle is always constant. Quarter joint is the rigidly connects two members, and the knuckle joint is the connects two rods or bars permitting small amount of flexibility. And turnbuckle is the connect two rods having threads nets. A riveted joint is the permanent fluid tight joint between two places. Okay, and in a belt drive, if the pulley diameter is doubled, keeping the tension and belt width constant, then will be necessary to increase the key width. A body in motion will be subjected to coreless acceleration when that body is restrained to rotate while sliding over another body. Consider the following statement is the one and through. Next, the sensitive dH by dN, a given Porter governor where h is the height of the pin joint from the sleeve, n is the RPM proportional to 1 by n cube. A machine mounted in a single coil spring has period of free vibration T spring cut into 4 equal parts placed in the parallel and machine mounted on them. The period of free vibrations new system will become T by 4. Which of the following is the pace is correctly matched? 4 years is the frequency domain analysis. Okay. Next The direction of correlates common acceleration to omega v of the slider with respect to the constant part v shown in the figure. In this figure is the 2 and 4 are wrong. 2 and is the 4 is the wrong statements. In this case, ఇది వచ్చేసి n square I2. Which of the following pairs are not correctly matched? Positive drive is the belt drive. Remaining is the correct. For spring controlled governor to be stable, the controlling force F related the radius or the equation is F is equal to A plus RB, AR plus B. The equation of free vibration. The equation of free vibration of a system x plus 36 pi square x is natural frequency is the 6 pi Hz. 6 pi is the Hz. If W by Wn root 2 where W is the frequency of excitation and Wn the natural frequency of vibration, then the transmissibility of vibration will be dash 1. Which one of the following is the true involute gears? True involute gears is the pressure angle is constant throughout the teeth engagement. Which one of the following is an open pair? Cam and followers is the higher pair also is there. Hunting is the too sensitive. Isochroism వచ్చేసి constant equilibrium speed for all radial rotation, and stability is the one radius rotation for each speed, and effort is the main force exerted the sleeve during change of speed. The equation nothing. The critical speed of rotating shaft depends upon mass and stiffness. In this case also helical gears is the quiet motion, herringbone gears is the zero axial thrust, and worm gears is the extreme speed of reduction, and hyper gears is the non-interchangeable. The bearing characteristic number of hydrodynamic bearing depends on viscosity, speed, and bearing pressure. Quadratic cycle chain, Ackermann steering mechanism, single slider crank chain, oscillating cylinder engine mechanism, double slider crank chain, Oldham's couplings, cross slider crank chain is the Rapson slide. A riveted gear train is one in which the output and input shaft are coaxial. When a slider moves with velocity v and a rotating at an angular speed w, Coriolis component of acceleration is given by 2v omega. The total number of instantaneous center is the mechanism consisting of n links n of n minus 1 by 2. The cam drive is essentially opposite of the followers that decreases the pair between the followers and pin. If the mass m oscillates spring having a mass stiffness k, the natural frequency of the system is given by k by root of k by m plus ms by 3. Thank you very much.